Could the smartest guys in the Republican Party really be Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, and Tom Cotton? All that and more now on Graf's Grievances. They saw the writing on the wall. Former President Donald Trump was going to mount another bid for the White House after losing the 2020 presidential election, and his stranglehold on the GOP was just as tight as ever. In addition, the current occupant of the White House, Democrat Joe Biden, was an incumbent president running for re-election on a historic record of accomplishments. Perhaps most important for his re-election, restoring the American dream. President Biden overseeing the creation of 13 million new jobs, more than any president ever in a 4-year term, and a historically low unemployment rate of just 3.6%. This environment making it virtually impossible for even a fresh-faced, Ivy League educated, conservative populist to wrestle the Republican nomination away from Trump and then go on to defeat Biden in the general election. The young guns who appear to have rightly tamed their ambition, at least for the time being, and chosen to forgo a presidential run this cycle, Republican Senators Ted Cruz of Texas, Josh Hawley of Missouri, and Tom Cotton of Arkansas. These three men, between the ages of 43 and 52, have spent their entire time in the U.S. Senate positioning themselves as the future of the Republican Party, advocating for punitive restrictions on women from making their own healthcare decisions, attacking LGBTQ Americans, working to increase the proliferation of guns in America, and even curtailing legal immigration to the United States. All of this hatred coming as Cruz, Hawley, and Cotton have been at the forefront of defending Trump's illegality and attempts to overturn the 2020 presidential election by fomenting a violent coup. Yet despite amassing what could be described as an ideal presidential candidate resume for today's Republican voter, Cruz, Hawley, and Cotton wisely choosing not to run for the White House now because they know they cannot beat Trump. In addition, they have time on their side. Wait 4 more years and Trump will almost certainly be out of the picture. If he becomes president next year, that will be his second term in the White House and he won't be able to run again. If Trump loses to Biden, he will likely be out of politics by the next presidential election cycle in 2028, when he will be 81 years old. That, of course, if his diet of Big Macs and chocolate shakes doesn't kill him first. With Trump not running in 2028, Cruz, Hawley, and Cotton will all still be relatively young and can run on their total allegiance to Trump instead of trying to explain why they are running against a guy who they refuse to criticize. And all of this brings us to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The 44-year-old Ivy League educated Republican has chosen a different path than his ideological brethrens, Cruz, Hawley, and Cotton. DeSantis running against Trump for the Republican presidential nomination and now suffering the consequences. The Trump sycophant dropping below 20% support among Republican voters in the latest average of polls for the first time since May when he launched his campaign. Meanwhile, Trump's polling average has been relatively stable at around 50%. Republican voters making clear they don't want to vote for a candidate who embraces all of Trump's agenda, I.E. DeSantis, when they can vote for Trump himself. It's actually very simple. Why would you go see the cover band when you can see the show itself? Yet despite this obvious point, DeSantis let his unchecked ego get the best of him. He is now firing staff, scaling back his travel, and maybe shaking up his media strategy. We shall see if DeSantis 2.0 can reverse his campaign's ever downward trajectory, but it's beginning to look a lot like a flameout. And Cruz, Hawley, and Cotton are looking increasingly like the smartest guys in the Republican Party. Thanks for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think and please subscribe.